Hi, this is Kevin Deal, and today we're going to talk about Italian passion. I decided to wear my Ducati shirt today because it gets me all prepped and pumped up because I love Italian stuff. I've got Ducatis, I've got an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. I just, when things are done right, and I have to tell you, those products inspire me. And I think about Pathos. Pathos is another company that inspires me. I just came back from the factory recently, and I wanted to get an idea because the thing about Pathos is they've never been a company to talk about themselves that much. They are not like that as people. They're not like that as people. They're very, very humble, and they go, no, this is the way you do things. So I had to go there and see it for myself because I've always been fond of their build quality, and I've always loved the sound. Like the in-pole is what really started Pathos, and in-pole is a patented design that really created the company many, many years ago, back in 1994. They're in Vicenza, Italy, and the funny thing is the Gaetano, who is the president of the company, used to hang out with Franco Serblin. They would work on cars together in the garages. I didn't even know that because, Sonus Faber is also located in Vicenza, and these guys were audiophiles. Pathos came up with this patented design called in-pole. That's what started the company. They've never been known to talk about themselves that much, and that's why I want to communicate it with you. I went to the factory, and I just had all these questions because I look at how much they give you, and I said, okay, I'm sure that this is assembled in Italy. It must be that it's just assembled in Italy. If you look at products that say that they're made in the USA, there's very, very little of that. And I'm going to be honest with you, having their stuff made in China, then assembling it here is probably a pretty good move. Because some of the worst workmanship I've ever seen has been on American products. And that's true when it comes to electronics. The Chinese get their hands working, and they can just do things to a higher level of standard. That's why products that say that they're made in Boulder, Colorado, well, I guess in a way, the fact is, the metalwork, all in China. The printed circuit boards, all made in China, all stuffed in China. And then they bring the circuit boards over and the transformers, they take those parts and they put them into the chassis, screw them in place, and then it is made in America. Look at this. I went to the factory and we went to lunch. And I said, okay, well, what about the circuit boards? You must be getting the circuit boards stuffed in China because they're just amazing. No, we do. I go, what do you mean we do? Well, there's very good high tech near Vicenza. We looked at China, but we wanted to control the quality. So everything is made within reach. I go, what do you mean within reach? Well, there's very good high tech just 60 kilometers from Vicenza. And that's where they have the printed circuit boards manufactured, and then some of the assembly done, and then they are finished off, and the final assembly is done at the factory. I go, well, what about the metalwork then? Because the metalwork is sublime. Oh, we do. I go, what do you mean you do? Oh, we make it, and you paint it too? Yeah, well, we do. I go, for God's sake, are you kidding me? Well, what about the capacitors? Oh, made in Italy. Transformers, made in Italy. I go, gee. So we're sitting there at the lunch table. I said, well, on their website, they have a picture of a guy's hand sandpapering this piece of wood trim here. And I figured, okay, it's some dude in Guangdong, China that's doing the sand. I go, you must be getting the wood done over there. I go, and Luca goes, no, I do. I go, what do you mean you do? I do it. I go, what? And then Gaetano goes like this. He goes, and I go, what does that mean? And they explained to me that they buy a tree. They buy the Paduc tree, and then they cut it into planks, and then the planks get cut into faceplates, and then they sand them in-house. And I go, you gotta be kidding me. I go, well, what about the remotes? Because I'm gonna, no one makes remotes. Nobody makes remotes. You do what this company did. This is a remote from a $5,000 product. American product, right? I go, what about the remotes? He goes, oh, I do it. I go, what do you mean you do it? Luca gets on his phone and he pushes a couple of buttons. Suddenly my phone vibrates. And he sent me a file, and I'm going to show you 10 seconds of it because it was kind of long.
Eccolo qua, pezzo iniziale, a te che piacciono i programmi. Ecco, mancava il pezzo finale.
They make the remotes there. They have a complete machine shop. And it's like, their whole gig is this. They want to create something with unbelievable musicality, and they want everything done in-house by people that are either family members or people that are treated like family. And that's what I'm talking about when you talk about Italian emotion. And that's why the products just sound the way that they sound. You know, there are hybrids out there that you might as well just buy a Yamaha receiver. Don't waste your time. I don't care what the reviews say. I mean, look, man. There's no such thing as a bad review. So if you come to me and go, oh, blah, 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 got a good review, give me a break. There's no bad reviews. I'm talking about something that really approaches the sound of a tube amp. It's never going to be pure tube. It is not going to happen. Now, in-pull, I'm going to say, is completely different. That is an unbelievable thing because it's as if it's so effortless. An in-pull amp sounds like it ionizes the air. It is crazy. This is not an in-pull design, but it is a high bias design. I'm going to break this down for you, okay? First off, I found out, because it had balance jacks on the back panel, right? I go, okay, big deal, because everybody puts balance jacks, and usually they just put a jumper there. It is not balanced. They're not using an op amp. They're not using circuitry to make. No, it is balanced. It is a fully balanced front end. Hell yeah. And then the volume control is done the right way. Pathos is a company, because I don't dig digital volume controls, or I don't dig chips. They did it in a way where a chip doesn't sound like a chip. It does not have that electronic sheen that so many products have. And not only that, the way that they designed this volume control is it has high overload. So if you've got a DAC that's got 6 volts out, even 12 volts out, it's not going to overload the preamp section. Hell yeah. So they did it the right way, and it sounds glorious. Now let's look at this. Look at the circuit board. You got to look at this closely so you can get an idea of what's happening. The regulation, the way that they use op amps to drive the output transistors, and the reason they did that was to make it dynamic. And then the output transistors are high bias. The reason they did that was to give it that immediate slam. That coupled with big capacitors, 22,000 microfarad capacitors per channel, hell yeah. So it's going to give you that big pop that you're looking for because it's got a big transformer. The entire signal path, not the entire signal path, I take that back. I'm saying this wrong. The wiring that is in the signal path is pure silver wire. They have done it the right way, and you would not know this if nobody showed you the inside, because everything, you just look at it and you go, oh, this is a pretty face. It is a pretty face, but it's a beautifully designed and engineered product. I've always loved the Classic One, back to the original, the Mark II, but the Mark III is another level altogether. Now, I read this review from Doug Schneider, I think it was, and it was kind of an interesting review because he wasn't reviewing it, he just had to write about it because he was so enthralled by it. You can run this as, okay, the amplifier is well made. It's 70 watts per channel that'll kick the shit out of 100 watt other brands, right? Because of the way it's built. You got to look at this. It almost doubles into 4 ohms, 135 watts into 4 ohms because it's done right. Now, if you want something that's crazy, you can also monoblock this. Flip a switch, you've got an all-tube preamp and a pair of monoblock amps, and read what he said about it. I mean, it's an unbelievable achievement, man, and you can run a pair of Magnaplane at 3.6 and just rock your world. Oh, God, I love this. Listen, for $3,000, you're going to buy stuff that's just going to be decent stuff, or maybe it looks really cute, but you don't want to listen to it that much. This is something that will inspire your imagination, pair of 6922 tubes in the front if you want to get a little bit more zip. The color of this amp is going to be ever so slightly relaxed. It is not a bright amp. It has great bass. It's got great punch. The top end, slightly relaxed. If you like stuff that has an electronic edge, this is not it. If, however, you want more of that, you can just swap out a pair of the 6922s and you can adjust the color very, very easily and get something with a little more bite. I wouldn't change a damn thing. This is a real achievement. It is, oh, one more thing. When I went to the factory, I joked about this in another video, and I saw the QC test was done by Fabio, and I made a joke about Fabio. Well, I met Fabio when I was there, and as to be expected, Fabio is tall, dark, and handsome. I hate people like that, but he was a hell of a nice person, and it was just a great experience. You know, this is something that you can cherish years later, and it's built to last a lifetime, and that's what I'm talking about, for a very reasonable price. Go to our website, learn more about it. We're telling the story of Pathos because they don't talk about themselves, and we're going to do it for them. And you can go to other Pathos dealers across the country and hear it for yourself. It's really a cool product. Hey, thanks for listening.